Hi, I'm delighted to be joined here today by Swave, who is on our advisory board. Swave, I'll just let you introduce yourself.
Yeah, thanks. Hi, I'm Swave Szymczyk. I work for Adidas, and I'm the Global Director of Digital and Retail Marketing.
Fab, thank you. And so, Swave, what is Adidas's biggest focus at the moment?
Right now, it's definitely digital. I mean, the digital transformation happens pretty much at every large company, and we are just like all the others, better. I would
Of
say.
course.
No, but it is definitely digital, and it's not just digital in the sense of .com, but really digital in the sense of doing business as digital.
Yeah. And what are your biggest challenges?
I think, we've been around for about 7 years, so amazing history, really great archive. It's where we really live as a brand. But we also have, along with that, legacy systems that have been there for many, many years. And so trying to be fast and nimble is, great vision, but sometimes the systems slow us down a little bit. I'm sure not a unique challenge to us.
No, I'm sure definitely not. And in terms of direct to consumer, because Adidas is obviously super interesting, you're a wholesaler, but you also sell direct to consumer. What are your, I mean, it might be a bit of a fool's game, kind of guessing the future, but what are your thoughts on where direct to consumer is going and where it will, be in the next kind of 5-10 years?
Yeah, I mean, obviously you see a lot of companies going more towards D2C from wholesale. I mean, a lot of like high street stores closing. And I think you have to play in one of three spaces. So either it has to be convenience, value, or it's got to be experience. So from a convenience standpoint, if you think of like Amazon Go Store, where you walk in, walk out, tap in, whatever, even like a Boots where you can, you don't really need to speak to a human anymore. You just check yourself out. Also, we're looking at supermarkets. That's where a lot of the technology comes from. So it could look a bit different in a store, but it's definitely a good way to start. There's obviously the value channel, which always will be popular. There is that dopamine release that people get where they get 10 items or 20 items for $50. You can say it's good, bad, and different, many opinions about it. But it is there, and it's definitely something that's quite popular. But I think the one where the winners are going to win is going to be experience. So from a community building perspective, if you look at Rafa or an Apple, Rafa's really all around the cycling and the local community. Apple Town Square, which is really all around giving you kind of a value added. They don't even ask you to buy anything; they just want you to be closer to the brand. At Adidas, we actually do monthly events at each one of our flagship stores and originals that actually are community events, and they're centered around either sneaker culture or we really tried to keep it local and specific. So, if you're in other of our stores here, either in Soho or in Shoreditch, you really can kind of get that great experience. And the other one I think is when you look at stores like a Good Hood or a Kith or sneakers and stuff, obviously a bit stuck in a streetwear community, but it's a really curated, curated closet almost that you're going to like at least 17 things in that store. So really being consumer centric and understanding who that shopper is, and really delivering them, I guess, sort of a convenience. Okay, you'll pay a bit more, but the value is that someone's already done that work for you. And definitely it is an experience because you're walking into somewhere where you like see and be seen and you'll discover new brands. So yeah, those are the three.
Absolutely. It's really, really interesting. And in terms of obviously your role as global director of marketing, you work across lots of different markets. What do you think are the differences in terms of kind of consumer behavior, tech adoption, etc., between these markets?
Yeah, and I think obviously the most interesting and the most obvious one is China. Having a closed system and having three companies that basically control everything from banking to ride sharing to paying a street vendor with your phone, and having access to your bank account. Like it's really interesting case study. Obviously a bit harder to do in the Western world just because of privacy laws and the separation of everything that we do. Plus, we also respect our privacy a bit more. Although it actually is quite interesting if you look at the younger a person is, the more privacy they're willing to give away for convenience. So I think that's swinging as well. But Still China leads that, and also them never having broadband actually just made them go mobile really quickly. But from a, if I look at, we obviously work in a lot of markets, but the big three for us are North America, Greater China, and Europe. And I think, Europe and North America just have a bit of a different taste. Not good, not bad, just different. And I think you can see that if you land at Heathrow or JFK, there's just a different sense of style that you kind of get. So different products will work differently. But I think from a technology point of view, it's kind of like East versus West, I would say. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. No, that's really, really interesting. And let's kind of guide the discussion to tech now, because obviously it's coming up a couple of months away. In one word, Swave, how would you describe tech?
Okay, in a hyphenated word.
That's fine, that's still kind.
Futureproofed.
Fab, yeah, great. And which speaker are you most excited to hear from?
Well, anyone that's talked to me knows that I talk about Farfetch all the time. I think that they're brilliant at using data and turning into insights and turning into a consumer experience. So Sarah Wood is the one I'm excited to see.
Fab, yeah, I am as well. I think she'll be great. Yeah. And what types of sessions are you kind of most excited about attending as well in October?
So obviously as a marketer, for me, it's all about consumer centricity and understanding what the consumer wants, needs, demands. And so really it's anything that has to do with either AI or data or turning data into whether it's something actionable or some sort of an insight that makes me and the team better marketers.
Yep, and there's plenty of them. So
it's very exciting.